pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have a moment of silence? Okay, the mayor will not be with us tonight. Everybody knows why. If you don't, raise your hand and Phil will tell you. Okay. Roll call, Corinne.
Counselor Chamberlain?
Here.
Counselor Heising? Here. Counselor Schneider?
Here.
Counselor Simon?
Here.
Counselor Tiarena?
Yeah.
Council President
Yeah.
Sibley?
Here.
We have 6 members present. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Everybody get a chance to look at the minutes from last meeting? If so, could Corinne get a yay?
I make a motion to accept the meeting minutes as presented.
I'll second.
Motion to approve the prior meeting minutes moved by Counselor Chamberlain and seconded by Counselor Tiarena. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Is that one of your pins down there? Sir? Thank you. Okay. Committee reports. Utility Committee.
Not yet.
Um,
Or no, yeah.
That would be me. We met on November 4th. That's Brandon, Steve, and I are on that committee. And we were presented with the calculations in the Waterworks program that is used to calculate all of the expenditures. And it even works in equipment and age of equipment and all of the foreseeable issues all together, and has an algorithm to kind of make projections. And it was apparent that we have to make a slight increase to be able to stay where we need to be able to handle emergencies. And we have a couple big, I would say, big expenses with the new lines. And just to give some perspective, it's about $1 million a mile for the new water lines. And so in order to stay where we need to be, we were recommended and we decided to bring it forward a 5% increase. And that would be only in the water portion of a bill. It wouldn't be the complete bill. So if a bill was $100, then the 5% would be just on the water portion, not the sewer portion. So about $2 and something for most bills. So instead of having to make kind of a significant increase when needed, that slight increase kind of keeps us where we need to be able to handle whatever comes our way. Did I leave anything out?
No, I think we only, the one thing last time we did a 3-year increase, this time we're only looking for a 1-year because we did not recommend any increase in the sanitary sewer rates. Right now we're solvent, but we wanted to make sure that we were going to be that way in a year in case we needed to make an increase.
And then in a year, if we don't need to make an increase, we won't.
And
If we can
sewers?
stay where we need to be, then we don't need to make another increase.
But basically, the water will go up 5%, and that's gonna,
5% on the water portion of the bill, which
For years-
is maybe half of the
years to
bill.
come.
Just for 1 year.
And then what are we're gonna look at?
Then we're gonna revisit it in a year and see if we need to do the 5% again, if we can do less based on what the projections look like for the funds.
So is there gonna be a motion tonight to do that?
Yes. So our motion passed unanimously to bring it forward to all of you. So I don't know if you have any questions about that. I mean, nobody wants to raise any rates, but it became clear with the, in looking at what we have in the, coming down the line, that we can't be in a position where we're not providing clean water to the city, so.
So are you making the motion, Sarah?
We
Sure.
already did. I mean,
Is that what I need to do right now?
Somebody can.
Somebody needs to make a motion, somebody needs to second that motion. So
I will make a motion to recommend the increase of the water rate by 5%.
I'll second.
Recommendation to increase the water rate by 5% moved by Counselor Chamberlain and seconded by Counselor Tiarena. Any discussion? Counselor Chamberlain?
Yes.
Counselor Tiarena?
Yes.
Counselor Heising?
Yes.
Counselor Simon?
Yes.
Counselor Schneider?
Yes.
Council President Stigley?
Yes.
6 yeas, 0 nays, motion carries.
Next up the bat is the tree commission.
I don't know why we didn't do that last time,
I don't know.
but anyhow, there really wasn't a whole lot going on. They're still looking to fill the vacant seat. They've got somebody that's interested, but they live outside the village or city. So I think they're gonna do some talking about that, whatever they can.
Yeah, we're gonna take a look at the code, or the tree code actually, that we just enacted, and see if we can't fiddle with that a little bit to broaden the requirements, so it'd be outside the city for interested parties
The
for that
person
particular
they're-
committee.
Yeah, the person they're looking at is pretty qualified
Yes.
to take the position. It's just
Yeah.
they're not inside.
Would that have to come back to us, Tom?
Yeah, we'd have to amend the code, yeah.
Well, then they talked about the Wallapalooza, the tree damage, that just getting dismissed due to the fact that it wasn't, there was some concerns about the person that did it being connected with the event, so. Other than that, there wasn't a whole lot going on with that.
No recommendations, right?
Park board.
All right. Well, they brought in, Keith brought in Martin Furhop. There we go, oh, there we go. And he basically went over what he's doing, the different things. He's working on about 100 irrigation heads that aren't working. Just kind of cleaning things up, fixing things that have been neglected.
How many are there total?
I didn't get into that with him.
Okay.
When he said there was a-
Seems like a lot.
When he said there was 100 of them not working, I didn't want to know how many there were.
Okay.
Great
I
question,
mean,
Sarah.
is that like half of them, you know, is it, I don't know.
I don't know. You don't
How
have any
many's out
idea?
there?
how many?
I have no clue. I know there are several hundred out there. And out of the 100, they don't work like they're supposed to. They may spray, but they don't do the targeted areas like they're supposed
Okay.
to, so they need to be cleaned up, adjusted, and new heads put in, several of them.
I'm glad he's getting right to work.
Well, he talked about the dirt edge for the field, the infields. That's gonna be what, about 50,000?
That would be to laser line the fields, strip the 2 fields
Right.
off to make those utility fields, and bring in more of the top dressing to get them taken care of.
But that should last 10 years if it's
Yeah.
if it's maintained throughout
Right.
like it should be. Well, that's yeah, other than that, then there was the Veterans Commission brought up some benches. Did they ever figure out what they were doing with those?
No, we have not heard from them. If they're gonna go with the same bench that Rotary has, or if they have already purchased the benches that they proposed for the park board.
So what was the location of the discussion for these benches?
They would either go in the parks or along the bike trail,
Okay.
not back in the trail.
No, I just-
It's okay, Tom.
No, I'm just wondering, because
No.
I
They,
didn't know if it was gonna be part of like the Rotary plan, or just the benches would be the
no,
same
we
idea?
were hoping to get them, if they hadn't purchased them already, to get them to utilize the same style bench.
Yeah.
So that we didn't have multiple benches
Right,
around town like we do now.
makes sense.
That was a recommendation.
Well, there's no recommendation for that.
No, that was a discussion
Yeah.
To go back and recommend to the Veterans Service Organization.
to utilize the same bench throughout the whole city. And the other thing that the park board, a few of them's gonna do is go to Paul Zumfeld's house and look at Paul's art, because he would like them to do that, so. I don't think there's gonna be a meeting in December,
No.
so that'll put it to next year, right?
Yep.
One thing I did like out of the park board meeting minutes was Martin talked about, and I brought this up to you before, about the fences lifting out of the ground, that he's gonna reach out to a fencing company.
We've been trying to get them here for the last 6 months to take a look at them. And I finally said, all right, Martin, here's the telephone number.
Gotcha.
You guys work it out, get it figured out, what's the best alternative? Because either one's probably gonna be pricey, but I want something that's gonna last and that we're not gonna be revisiting in the next 5 years.
I was glad to see that he was tackling that,
Yes.
so.
He seems to be getting right on it, so.
Good.
And anybody that wants to volunteer and go out and pick up corn husks at Biddle Park,
There's a high school group that's been trying to find some things to do, so communicate with, I keep forwarding the emails to Kathy.
And
They have a
we've got-
project that they are trying to schedule for the beginning of December, so they have time and they're willing to come and help, so that would be something great for them.
Senior
I can
Service Day.
pass on the info again.
I think it's December 4 or 6, senior.
December 6th.
Senior Service Day, yeah.
Yeah, we've got them working on a couple of different projects. I'm not sure if they're all tapped out, but I will check.
Last I knew, they were still trying to place kids, so.
Okay.
Is that just at Biddle Park?
That's the majority of them, yes.
So we probably can't get a burn permit from the fire department to.
Do they use the leaf vacuum maybe on that, you know, like a job like that, use the leaf vacuum maybe? You know, that they use along the side of the street maybe?
I know what they'd like to use is a flamethrower on it, but
When
Phil
it's dry,
gets a
it
little
goes
nervous
fast.
about that.
Yeah.
Maybe we give it to the firemen and let them use the flamethrower.
Practice,
Maybe we better go on, move on.
yes.
It's like cardboard though.
It was only a
Flying everywhere.
suggestion. Probably a bad one.
The wind will take it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Personnel Committee,
Yeah.
Mr. Chamberlain.
Thank you, Council President. We met on November 15. We met for a solid hour, and it was an hour full of discussion. You and I were both there, along with department heads and the mayor. First up was non-union employee requests. The non-union folks that are employed by the city brought some requests to Keith's attention, maybe the mayor's attention, maybe both. Okay. First up was, I think we addressed the sick day stuff, right, Keith?
Yes.
Okay, we're going from like a potential of 6 bonus days, potentially earned by city employees if they don't use sick time. It's almost, it's a complicated formula, but we're gonna get rid of it, right, Keith?
Yes.
Yes.
That's all.
So we're gonna go down to 5 bonus days that city employees could earn or just
Personal
have.
days.
There would be
Personal days.
personal-
No bonus
No
days.
bonus days.
Personal days.
Personal days. These are 5 personal days that they don't necessarily have to earn, they're just given, correct? Okay. All right, so that's one recommendation that we're gonna entertain tonight. A second recommendation was to increase the clothing allowance from $400 to $600. So we're entertaining that tonight. And another recommendation was to issue employee ID badges to city employees. And that's before us tonight as a recommendation as well. Some things that we didn't we don't have recommendations for tonight, a longevity pay increase. The mayor and Keith, I was confused. The longevity pay increase something that you rolled out, Keith, or the mayor rolled out, or a joint between all department heads?
This was in line with the, I believe, the insurance. But the years of service were also on the Your Step, following Your Step program.
It was following vacation.
That's it, thank you, vacation. The vacation schedule, it was following the same vacation schedule. That's where those years came from.
Okay, so the longevity pay increase, for instance, I think it was in the 10-year or 15-year, right now, city employee receives a 15-cent bonus for longevity pay. The proposal is to increase that to $2. So quite a significant increase in longevity pay. Something that Harold and I felt more comfortable with the finance committee addressing because it does deal with the dollars and cents. So we deferred that to the finance committee to wrestle with during the discussion of the 2025 budget. So longevity pay was referred on to the Finance Committee. The HR contract, we have our contract with our HR specialist. That was presented to Harold and I. The proposed contract for 2025 was presented to Harold and I just a matter of minutes before the meeting started. We felt uncomfortable addressing that topic because we didn't have a chance to read it. So we're going to have another committee meeting where we'll entertain the HR contract. And then the last item was the proposed compensation plan. This probably had most of our attention during that 1 hour meeting. It is an attempt from the administration to increase the administrative staff, department heads, the administrative staff pay, increase their pay to create more separation between the what I call the line staff and the administrative staff. Some of the department heads were feeling like the line staff, non-administrative staff, were getting too close to them and maybe in some cases even passing them in compensation. So there was a proposal for a compensation plan. Harold and I had a lot of discussion about it with department heads present, a lot of back and forth. At the end of the day, Harold and I did not make any motion on the topic. We let it sit, and that's where it is. So I'd be happy to answer questions if there were any, and Harold can jump in if I missed anything, or department heads, if you guys want to add, subtract, feel free to have at it, but that was about the nature of the meeting.
So I had a question about the 5 personal days
Yeah, go ahead.
with no restrictions.
Yes.
So,
Go ahead, Shane, explain it.
Okay, so,
Starts out at 6.
so it was 6. You could potentially could earn 6. Okay, there's 3 that was, everybody got 3, and then if you didn't use much sick time, you could earn an additional 3 for a total of 6 bonus, or otherwise known as personal days.
Okay.
Days that you can use at your discretion whenever you want. You just don't come to work, and you're still paid for those days.
mhm.
We're taking that calculation from considering sick time use, and we're getting rid of that, and we're just giving them 5.
So I like the idea of the original plan because it benefits insurance costs and everything else as far as premiums and deductibles and everything else that goes into having employees. So for them not using sick time, and it's like, I can power through whatever, I have a light headache, whatever it might be. So what you guys are proposing now is, here's 5 days, personal days you can just use, doesn't matter how much sick time you have or how much sick time you use, you still get these 5 days. That's what I'm hearing?
They're not gonna have sick time no more.
They won't have any sick time?
Yes.
Part of the 5 days.
Yeah, they will. Yeah, they
It's
will.
not part of that, but they will still have sick time. It's just that's separate.
So city employees will have 3 things to pull from: vacation time, sick time, and personal days. Otherwise
Which
known
isn't
as
comp time.
No.
No.
We do
And they
have
do have
that,
comp,
right.
you do have comp time too?
Yes,
So how many, you're gonna still have sick time?
yes.
How many days they get?
It's calculated by hours.
Huh?
Yeah, it's
It
hour,
go-
it's
It
hour.
goes by hours. It's 4.6 hours for every 80 hours worked,
Yes.
I think is what it is.
So we,
I think it's also important to note that I think the incentive was not so much not to use sick time, but to not call off sick on a short period of time, right? It was
Right.
it's where you don't give, notice, which then impairs the administration's ability, to maneuver and whatever.
Right.
So that's the only incentive that was there, was, that you could still plan ahead. Sick time would not affect your bonus days, as long as it was more than 48 hours
48 hours,
notice.
right.
Yeah.
And 3 of those bonus days or personal days, Brandon, are government holidays we don't recognize. Veterans Day, Martin Luther King Day, and President's Day. The city does not shut down during those 3 holidays. So that was a way of giving the employees those 3 days off without having them, those government holidays recognized, I guess. I did ask, why not recognize those holidays?
Right.
And then we started to venture into union discussions, and it got really complex, so I could tell Keith's blood pressure started to raise a little bit, and we just.
You're making me nervous. Just look.
I don't know, I personally, it does not bother me that the personal days are, I guess, the connection to sick days is eliminated because I guess to me, more females in the workplace may, I mean, it's not that dads don't take care of kids, but a lot of times females do, and that's sick time pulled into that. And so to balance, you know, I don't want to use that sick time because my personal days are going to be affected. You know what I'm saying?
I do. I'm just
I don't
trying
know that I
to,
like that connection because a lot of people's lives are intertwined with family members where, you know, they need to take a sick day sometimes.
right. I-
But basically what I'm getting out of it is you're giving them 3 holidays still.
Mhm.
And they're getting two
Two bonus
personal days
days, right.
instead of 3 and 3.
Right.
So,
Right. And it's keeping Keith and other department heads from tracking, did the person give me notice of being away from work due to sick within 48 hours or after 48 hours? That was a big determining factor as to whether or not it would ruin their chance at earning those 3 bonus days. As far as the compensation plan goes, guys, I would encourage all council members to look at the spreadsheet that we were offered as to what the proposal actually was. It was tough to stomach. There were some significant increases in compensation within there. Harold and I did talk about, you know, offering to the mayor a potential way out to create some additional separation between it in the form of, if she were to roll out a 3% or a 5% pay increase across board, we suggested her maybe a 3% on top of that for the administrative staff to create a little more separation there. So we did offer her a way out because I did feel it was important to the mayor, this compensation plan. So I wanted to offer a way to recognize her administrative staff, but still at the same time, not give the significant raises that were proposed.
well, but where are we at compared to other agencies in the area?
Yeah.
We never,
With all
I
these
didn't look into
department
that.
heads.
I think we
Yeah.
ought to look into that.
You know, I mean.
The comparables,
Right.
it's a great question. Sometimes people like to use comparables, and then other times we're reminded that we're the city of Wauseon and we shouldn't look elsewhere. So it's sometimes we wear that hat and sometimes we don't. I agree, Jeremy, it's worth a look, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So real quick, going back to the 5 personal days with no restrictions.
Come on, Brandon.
I just want to make sure that it makes economic sense businessly. So like,
It's a job perk, Brandon. It's a
I
job
under-
perk.
I-
We're leaving
Yeah.
up
But we're
6
gaining a
days.
day.
and
It's
we're
a job
only
perk.
getting 5 days.
right.
I mean, at the county level, we don't get bonus days. I'm sure you don't get this
Okay.
type of day, do you?
No.
No, so,
You wanna talk, Ted?
Maybe I can help you out, Frank.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, personal days,
Well, I guess
Okay.
what I'm just wondering is, what's the implication on the budget, if any?
there,
None, really?
these are not days that you can get paid out. These are not days that you can carry over. They're strictly limited during that calendar year. You must take them or you must lose them.
Okay.
If you leave for any reason, retire, resign, get terminated, you don't get paid out for those days. These are just personal days. Back 40 years ago, the reason we had 3 of them was there was 3 holidays
Right.
that weren't recognized by the city, that were by the county, and that's what they gave us, just personal days so you could use whenever. And they've been with us ever since. And then it got tacked on, all right, let's try and utilize 3 additional personal days to get people to stop calling off all the time. That didn't necessarily work. The people that call off all the time still call off all the time.
Right.
And the people that should call off don't because they don't want to lose a sick day. So it kind of backfired on us there.
Mhm.
This way here, we don't have to track it. We cut it back down to 5, which is a week off for the people that don't have a whole lot of time build up, the 1, 2, 3 year people. This gives them additional time that they can take off during the year. And really, it doesn't affect the budget on my end, because if someone takes a personal day, I'm not calling somebody else in on the public works side to fill that position. It's a little different with the police and fire department,
Right.
but they also have restrictions on, you can't just call, oh, tomorrow I want to take a personal day. No, you've got to schedule those so it happens.
So from a fire department perspective, there's policy in place that vacation time you have to have in ahead of time. I just can't call in right now and say, oh, I'm gonna take a vacation day. That has to be established due to the nature of our scheduling. Sick time, the use of personal time allows us to appropriately use sick time. So if my sump pump quits working, I'm not saying, oh, I'm gonna use a sick day today because my sump pump quit working.
Or you don't have to take a vacation day.
Right.
Right.
So this allows for some of that. And it helps keep the employee using time appropriately versus telling us one thing and out doing another. Now you're faced with a discipline problem, but they were doing what was best for their family at the time.
Okay.
So I think that helps.
Yeah, that does help. Thank you.
Plus, for our purposes at the fire department, unless it is emergent, personal days are scheduled ahead of time. We usually ask 24 to 48 hours. I don't remember what the policy asks, but we do ask that they schedule that ahead of time if they know they're going to use it.
Right.
I mean, nobody wants to schedule their sump pump going bad or their toilet going bad, but that's the circumstance.
Okay. Right. Okay, thank you for the clarification. Appreciate it.
So is it time for the reading of the legislation?
If we don't have more questions with that, I will vote to eliminate those bonus personal days and switch to the 5 personal days with no restrictions.
Second.
Recommendation that a codified ordinance in the city's local government manual be amended to eliminate bonus personal days for unused sick time and create 5 personal days with no restrictions. Moved by Counselor Heising and seconded by Counselor Chamberlain. Any discussion? Counselor Heising?
Yes.
Counselor Chamberlain?
Yes.
Counselor Simon?
Yes.
Counselor Tiarena?
Yes.
Counselor Schneider?
Yes.
Council President Stickley?
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays, motion carries.
Make a motion to increase the clothing allowance from 400 to 600.
I'll second that.
Recommendation to amend section 147.20 of the codified ordinances to increase the clothing allowance for employees of the Department of Public Service from $400 to $600. Moved by Counselor Chamberlain and seconded by Counselor Heising. Any discussion? Counselor Chamberlain?
Yes.
Counselor Heising?
Yes.
Counselor Simon?
Yes.
Counselor Tiarena?
Yes.
Counselor Schneider?
Yes.
Council President Stickley?
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays, motion carries.
I'd make a recommendation to accept to make a motion to accept the recommendation of the implementation of employee badges.
I'll second.
Recommendation to provide the implementation of employee
Gotcha.
badges, moved by Counselor Chamberlain and seconded by Counselor Tiarena. Any discussion? Counselor Chamberlain?
Yes.
Counselor Tiarena?
Yes.
Counselor Heising?
Yes.
Counselor Simon?
Yes.
Counselor Schneider?
Yes.
Council President Stickley?
Yes.
6 ayes, 0 nays, motion carries.
Council President, may I be excused from the meeting?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Yep.
Yep.
See you, Shane.
See you.
Yeah. Department heads. Chief Kessler.
Earlier this year, we got the second AFG grant to complete the Magna Grip installation. That is now complete. We're working on a small punch list to tune the system in, but it's working well downstairs. With the holiday festivities and Christmas parades coming up, we ask that people take a second to slow down, stop at stop signs, look both ways. Our crashes are starting to climb back up. And this isn't, not that there's any good time, but nobody wants to deal with something like that at Christmas time. So, that's all I have.
That's it. Thank you, sir. Chief Chittenden.
The deadline for Christmas for Kids applications is this Friday. I know we've been receiving quite a few in. Unfortunately, I was in trainings and stuff all day, so I didn't get to hear what number we're up to as of today. But as of last Friday, we were up over 80 applications. Last year, we were able to take 71 kids, but that was a little bit high for the amount of first responders and people, and just coordinating it. It got a little chaotic at 71. We're probably looking to accepting 60, 65, more in that range. So the applications, if we're gonna get them, we need to get them in so we can review those and make the selections starting next week. And last week posted a position for a lateral hire for police department. We have an officer retiring in January, so we're gonna try to get out and get that posted to try to receive some applications in the meantime. So we can hopefully find someone to fill that position.
That it?
That's all I have going on.
Thank you, sir.
So I just want to see, with the story from Napoleon,
Yeah.
how has that affected your staff, if at all, or?
I mean, it was definitely talked about. We do have documentation and literature that we pass out. Through the county, we're part of the county EAP program, as well as having a city EAP program, so we have different flyers. I usually post up on our bulletin board, every month. They kind of send something out dealing with mental health, different things with struggling through holidays, dealing with loss, dealing with health issues, stuff like that. So I do post that up there. As far as how much it's used, obviously we don't know. As administration, we aren't privy to that. As it's a confidential thing for the employees to use and do that stuff. So we can just kind of provide the information, provide the resources, and encourage them to use it if they need it.
That's okay.
I noticed, was it last week on South Shoot, an officer had picked up a pickup truck, and then there was another one out there another day. Have we increased the coverage? Because I go from New Horizons Academy to Trinity Lutheran Church and go out past the hospital to the coffee shop. If I'm going 35, I get just about run over. I mean, it is really, really bad out there.
It is definitely with New Horizons and the Special Grounds Coffee Shop, we did have a little bit of an increase in crashes. Thankfully, those have started to slow down. But that is definitely one area that we may not watch it all the time, but we do try to keep circling back
because
to
I think
put
that needs to
enforcement
be
in that spot.
If you had a daily time out there, people might start getting it.
You're right. They kinda get that
Because,
kind of
going out there, there's always people turning to the senior center, turning to the hospital, and that's just not a place to be going over 35, that's for sure.
No,
Yeah.
Shoup Avenue in general, I would say all of Shoup Avenue, without actually looking at the numbers, but just a rough guess, would have to be probably 70% of our crashes occur on Shoup Avenue. Just as it is our busiest and most main road through town, but the ACDAs, the assured clear distances, the rear endings, it's always been a problem, and we try our best to to curb that as much as we can, but that is definitely.
Well, I think it's good you're there, but if the state's considering changing that to 50, they're crazy.
Hopefully they don't come back to that.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just, yeah.
Is there a way we could do like the thing we had, I can't remember what road it was on, but it was like it showed the speed and would
box?
flash, and
Yeah.
just, I don't know, periodically putting that there to remind people, hey, even though you're pushing that person, they're going the speed limit,
Yeah.
and you're going like right into
Yeah,
their
I
butt.
mean, we have those, right? I'm sure they're
Yeah, we have one of
usually in
them. We have
storage.
one of them, and we kind of rotate around the city depending if we get a couple of complaints of speeding in a certain neighborhood or a road. But yeah, we could definitely move it back down there if we don't have anything
Pressing
that
for
we're
it.
pressing, that we're doing a study on or anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's always insane there. Yeah.
Anything else for the chief?
Nope.
Nope.
Mr. Turbot. Just an update from Thursday. Finally got our approval from our lead and copper inventory Friday morning. And Friday, since the deadline was Friday night, I want to thank Phil's crew for assisting me in stuffing 630 envelopes and getting them in the post office Friday night so that they were out on time. So we were compliant with the federal EPA's ruling on the lead and copper inventories for the city of Wauseon.
Nice.
Now, you will start getting, there were 630 of them, so you will probably start getting some phone calls wondering, oh my God, we have lead in our system. Well, everyone has lead somewhere in their system unless they've got a brand new water line. But we do everything we can to make sure that our pH is high so it isn't causing problems with the lead. And we do testing on a very regular basis on 30 different sites throughout the city to make sure that we do not have a problem with it. when we find a lead line, which is getting less and less every year, we have those replaced as soon as possible. But we're going to be required, because we had a lead line somewhere in the city, to send those letters out until we've got everything removed, replaced, changed over, and anybody that has galvanized lines in their house, those changed as well. Until that happens, we'll be sending those out on a yearly basis.
So the 630 that went out, was that just a targeted area? Or
No, that was anyone that had, that we did not know what material was in the ground on our side. We know about 90% of all the material on the customer's side, because of changing, every time we go to change out a water meter, we mark down what's on both sides of that meter. So we have that information. There are some that we don't know, and we're going through trying to eliminate those, or when people call in for a plumbing permit or something like that, we update those, and once we update them, then we can update that list and start narrowing it down. And like when we change out Fulton Street, we know everything going in there is new copper, so we can remove those from that list.
Oh, okay.
However, if they had galvanized on their side, they're still going to be receiving a letter, because they still have old plumbing in their house, which could be problematic to them.
Got it.
You'll get a letter.
Oh, yeah.
We're working on getting it taken care of. It's just, we don't have tens of millions of dollars to rip up every city street and change all the water lines.
Nice.
I think
Anything else for Keith? You got anything else?
not of any significance.
Did they get the sign done? They're on Shoup, the crossing? No?
No, not yet.
Nice.
Yeah.
Rear park looks nice. Hanson did a nice job on that.
I see him painted.
It's still loading.
So at
Yeah,
least
that sign does look awesome.
Fulton Street is asphalted in though,
Yeah.
and the side streets are asphalted in.
Yeah, I noticed that.
So you
My
should-
golf cart wasn't jumping.
Yeah. Okay. Jamie's not here. Tom, what do you have, sir?
Not really much. You got resolution 2024-34 up for first reading emergency. It's just approval of the EPA final findings. We spent a fair amount of time negotiating that with the EPA with the help of an attorney from the Canton area, I think. But we've got it down to about as good as we can get, I think. So we're ready to move forward with that. And also just getting ready, starting to draft put together preliminary drafts of all the year-end legislation. I mean, it's gonna be a fair amount as we move forward, so don't make plans, next couple of council meetings to, get to dinner early. Or go to basketball practice or whatever. No, that's about it. All's good. Everything's legal right now.
That's really good.
Don't mess it up.
Okay, is that all you got, sir?
Yes.
Okay. So let's move on to legislation, as Tom said. Resolution 2024-34. Resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an executive of EPA's final findings and orders and declare it an emergency.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion to place resolution 2024-34 on emergency reading, moved by Counselor Tiarena and seconded by Counselor Simon. Any discussion? Counselor Tiarena?
Yes.
Counselor Simon?
Yes.
Counselor Heising?
Yes.
Counselor Schneider?
Yes.
Council President Stickley?
Yes.
6 yeas, 0 nays, motion carries.
Final?
Second.
I did not get any of that.
Final? Second.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
Motion to place resolution 2024-34 on final reading, moved by Counselor Tiarena and seconded by Counselor Schneider. Any discussion? Counselor Tiarena?
Yes.
Counselor Schneider?
Yes.
Counselor Simon?
Yes.
Counselor Heising?
Yes.
Council President Stickley?
Yes.
5 yeas, 0 nays, motion carries.
I
Okay.
think you said 6 on the
I
free.
did.
I even wrote 6.
I heard, but I put 5. Next legislation, Resolution 2024-30. Resolution for the mayor to enter into an agreement with the Ohio Patrolmen's Benevolent Association Patrol Officers Union.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Motion to place resolution 2024-30 on second reading, moved by Counselor Simon and seconded by Counselor Heising. Any discussion? Counselor Simon?
Yes.
Counselor Heising?
Yes.
Counselor Tiarena?
Yes.
Counselor Schneider?
Yes.
Council President Stickley?
Yes.
5 yeas, 0 nays, motion carries.
Next resolution, 2024-31. Resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with the Ohio Patrolmen's Benevolent Association Command Officers Union.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Oh,
Motion to place resolution 2024-31 on second reading, moved by Counselor Heising and seconded by Counselor Schneider. Any discussion? Counselor Heising?
Yes.
Counselor Schneider?
Yes.
Counselor Simon?
Yes.
Counselor Tiarena?
yes.
Council President Stickley?
Yes.
5 yeas, 0 nays, motion carries.
Next resolution, 2024-32. Resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with the Ohio Patrolmen's Benevolent Association Records Technician and Full-Time Dispatch Union.
I'll do it.
I'll second.
Motion to place resolution 2024-32 on second reading, moved by Counselor Simon and seconded by Counselor Tiarena. Any discussion? Counselor Simon?
Yes.
Counselor Tiarena?
Yes.
Counselor Heising?
Yes.
Counselor Schneider?
Yes.
Council President Stickley?
Yes.
5 yeas, 0 nays, motion carries.
This one's probably gonna throw me off. Resolution 2024-33, resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement for the Indigent Defense Services and the county court with the Fulton County Commissioners.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Motion to place resolution 2024-33 on second reading, moved by Counselor Tiarena and seconded by Counselor Simon. Any discussion? Counselor Tiarena?
Yes.
Counselor Simon?
Yes.
Counselor Heising?
Yes.
Counselor Schneider?
Yes.
Council President Stickley?
Yes,
5 yeas, 0 nays, motion carries.
there is no third reading that I see. New business. I will brief, the end of this month, considering Thanksgiving is on Thursday and we're going to be closed on Friday, also the 29th. So we're moving everything up a ways. So staff meeting will be on the 26th, Tuesday. Council at the whole meeting will be on Wednesday, the 27th. In order for us to have a council meeting on December 2nd. So if you make a note of that, that would be wonderful.
And then the parade is this Saturday.
Yeah, exactly. The parade is at 7 o'clock at night on the 23rd. Is it going down Main Street?
Yep.
And I get to ride in the bucket truck, in the bucket?
Sure. Sure.
Are we ordering candy or,
Yeah.
I mean, did we, okay.
Yep, I ordered
So
chocolate.
I'm gonna get the key to the building so I can get a pickup truck from John. So council members can ride in the truck, except for you, you're gonna ride in the nose of the bucket. And throwing out candy and
I'll
something.
give you a microphone.
Do a lightning rod to touch the wire to make
There
sure
it
it's
is.
still good.
Good.
So is every council member gonna be there, the 23rd?
I won't.
You won't?
I don't know at this point.
You're not sure, Sarah?
I was planning on it. I can come alone or come with kids, so let me know.
Whatever you wanna do.
Yeah, I was planning on coming.
I will get the truck and I will meet up here like we did before, in the alley. So, then somebody's gonna brief me on where we start and where we end, and
Let me know what time when you know.
I will go in front of you.
Best advice.
And you have to be to the fire department so they can load you into the bucket truck.
You'll load yourself, we have a ladder you can climb.
Oh, okay.
You will not get to play with the controls.
Dang it.
The last person that did broke the truck.
That is true.
So, and if you want to see it, it's down there yet.
Yeah, I saw it at the Halloween.
Oh, it looks different now.
Oh, does
It's
it?
all decorated for Christmas.
Oh, nice.
Okay. I will keep everybody informed on the 23rd.
Sounds good. I had one more thing. I had thought of it during the moment of silence, but I'm sure if the mayor were here, she would say, just thoughts and prayers to the city of Napoleon and the loss of their officer. Thought that was kind of,
I heard
you know,
briefly about that.
devastating, so just wanted to say that.
That was not good. Thank you, Sarah.
Mhm.
Anybody got any other new business for the betterment of the council? Any old business? Otherwise, can I get a motion to pay the bills?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion to approve and pay the bills as presented, moved by Counselor Schneider and seconded by Counselor Simon. Any discussion? Counselor Schneider?
Yes.
Counselor Simon?
Yes.
Counselor Heising?
Yes.
Counselor Tiarena?
Yes.
Council President Stickley?
Yes.
5 yeas, 0 nays, motion carries.
Before we adjourn, do we know when we're going to get the copies of the proposed budget? You have-
Oh, no, this is for safety and code. I'm not sure yet.
Oh, okay.
If there's nothing more, can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Thank you, sir.
Motion to adjourn, moved by Counselor Tiarena and seconded by Counselor Simon. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.